Welcome to Stars X. Basket Case, Good Riddance, American Idiot. 3 songs, 3 moments that defined pop punk. But Green Day is more than just catchy hooks and rebellious anthems. This is the story of a garage band that went from playing underground clubs to changing the face of rock forever. It all started in the late 80s in Rodeo, California. Billie Joe Armstrong, born in 1972 in Oakland, California. Billie Joe was the youngest of 6 kids. His father was a truck driver and jazz musician, but tragedy struck early. When Billie was just 10 years old, his father passed away from cancer. That moment changed everything. At his funeral, Billie whispered, "Wake me up when September ends," a phrase that would later become one of Green Day's most emotional songs. By high school, he was obsessed with the Ramones, The Clash, and Husker Du. He wrote songs about feeling trapped in suburbia, about boredom, rebellion, and heartbreak. Those themes would become the heart of Green Day. Mike Dirnt, born Michael Ryan Pritchard in 1972, Mike had a rough start. His biological mother was a heroin addict, and he was put up for adoption as a baby. He grew up in a poor household, moving between different homes after his adoptive parents divorced. To get through the struggles, he turned to music. He met Billie Joe in elementary school, and they quickly became inseparable. The two would sit in the schoolyard playing guitar together for hours. Mike's bass playing style was aggressive yet melodic, a key part of Green Day's sound. John Kiffmeyer, before Tré Cool. Green Day had another drummer. He was older than Billie and Mike, more experienced in the punk scene, and had connections that helped Green Day get their start. He booked their first gigs, introduced them to Lookout Records, and helped them record their first album, 39/Smooth. But as Green Day started gaining momentum, John had other priorities. He was in college and wanted to focus on his education. He wasn't sure if Green Day could make it as a full-time career, so he left the band in 1990, paving the way for their next drummer. Enter Tré Cool, was the missing piece of Green Day. Born in 1972 in Germany, he moved to California as a child and grew up in a rural mountain town. He started drumming at a young age, heavily influenced by Keith Moon of The Who. At just 12 years old, he was playing in a punk band called The Lookouts, mentored by Larry Livermore, who later founded Lookout Records. When John Kiffmeyer left, Tré stepped in and instantly changed the band's energy. He was chaotic, loud, and hilarious, bringing a new level of showmanship. In 1989, they changed their name to Green Day, a slang term for spending an entire day smoking weed. The name fit. They were a bunch of rebellious punks with a passion for music and a screw-the-system attitude. Green Day became a sensation in the underground scene. Their first albums, 39/Smooth and Kerplunk, built a dedicated fan base. But when major labels came calling, things got complicated. Signing with a big label meant one thing. Gilman Street banned them for selling out. But Green Day didn't care. They had bigger plans. In 1994, Dookie changed everything. Punk had never been this anthemic. The album sold over 10 million copies, making Green Day one of the biggest bands in the world overnight. But fame came with a price. Punk purists turned against them, calling them corporate punk. It didn't matter. Green Day kept evolving. Then, in 1997, they surprised everyone with Good Riddance, Time of Your Life, an acoustic ballad that became the ultimate farewell song. But by the early 2000s, Green Day hit a slump. Warning, didn't perform well, and they started to fade from the spotlight. Then came American Idiot, a punk rock opera, a political statement, an album that revived not just Green Day but punk itself. American Idiot, Boulevard of Broken Dreams, and Wake Me Up When September Ends became generational anthems. Suddenly, Green Day was bigger than ever, but with fame came struggles. In 2012, Billie Joe had a breakdown on stage. Years of stress, alcohol, and addiction caught up with him. He entered rehab, and Green Day went silent for a while. Then they came back. Revolution Radio brought them back to their roots. After the success of Revolution Radio, Billie Joe Armstrong went back to his roots, forming The Long Shot, a side project with a more garage rock sound. They released an album, Love Is for Losers, giving fans a raw, stripped-down version of his songwriting. Mike Dirnt focused on business ventures, investing in Oakland Coffee, a sustainable coffee company. Tré Cool mostly stayed quiet, but he occasionally played drums for side projects and made guest appearances. From punk kids in basements to rock legends, Green Day proved that music isn't just about rebellion, it's about survival. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.